I have two children who are now 12 and 11 with my ex who passed a little over a year ago. While we were still together, he ended up becoming infatuated with this addict who he left me for. They married and had two small children together. He had limited contact with our children because I fought to keep my kids away from her. Then my ex died, and his wife lost her parental rights, which from the sounds of it she was fine with. My ex's family wanted me to take the two children and raise them, with the offer of financial assistance from them to aid in that work. I said no, and it led to tension. I did allow them to keep contact going and set up visits, but I do not want to be involved in those other two children. My former ILs have both run into some health problems, and they have continued turning to me for help, which I have said no to. Recently my former Phil was hospitalized after a heart attack, and my former Mill told me someone needs to step up and help them with the kids. Recently my former Phil was hospitalized after a heart attack, and my former Mill told me someone needs to step up and help them with the kids. Now I am running into a lot of crap from extended family who do not live nearby, saying I am the closest thing they have to a parent now, and that my former ILs are unlikely to be healthy enough to raise these kids to 18. And it would be evil of me to let the kids go into foster care or get sent states away from their siblings who live with me. They also claim I am going to make my kids hate me, which I seriously doubt. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Even if the ex had not cheated, you do not have a moral, certainly not legal, obligation to those children. But he did, so it is even more understandable that you would not want to raise those kids. Tell your ILs and everyone else that you've moved on from your ex and feel no obligation towards him outside of your children. They can either step up and take them. To spend their time finding someone in the mother's family to take them instead of harassing you. I truly think his family has some nerve. They are the idiots. It's appalling how so many posts here is or hey so. Your ex that you have kids with can no longer care for the children he or she had with another, and you already have prior kids with them, so you should take these children in too. I agree. I haven't been on Reddit long and I'm shocked by the question, but appalled by the demand. It's always people that are actually related to the children that don't want or can't handle the responsibility. Yeah, I periodically have to walk away for months at a time. The constant reminder of how society gaslights women into thinking that enforcing boundaries makes them idiots really starts to get to me. Not the idiot, and you'll never be the idiot for declining to take in children that you, 1, have no familial or emotional connection to. 2, that are the children of your ex and his new partner, and 3, most importantly, that you don't want to raise. I feel sorry for the kids, don't get me wrong, but they are absolutely not your obligation to care for, and the issue should have been dropped as soon as you said no the first time. Your former in-laws are completely out of line for trying to guilt you into raising the kids their son created with the woman he left you for. How terribly insensitive. Taking them in also opens the door to having to deal with their mother, even if she's lost parental rights. There's no guarantee that the kids won't seek out a relationship with her, or that she won't try to reach out to them if when she gets clean. Additionally, since you limited the contact your kids had with their father half-siblings, I'm assuming they don't have strong ties to the kids. In which case, I'd argue it's more likely that they'll resent you if you do take them in. Not only will they have permanently lost their dad, but their lives will be further upended by the introduction of two young strangers. It isn't fair to anyone to do this. If your extended family members believe you're failing these children, so be it. They have the option to step up and take them in, but they aren't. Doesn't that make them just as evil as you? My kids don't have that strong of a relationship with them at all. If my former ILs and I didn't arrange visits with them all, they would never ask me to see them. They never asked about them or wanted to see them when their dad was alive, and they had such limited contact with him. Honestly, they consider each other their only sibling, and their half-siblings are just kids they see sometimes. But I know that could change one day, so I keep access since it's now far safer to do so. So I have been dating this girl for a while now. She's beautiful. She works as a professional model. Not like an Instagram wannabe, but a real professional model with professional shoots and an agency and everything. She also practices martial arts, has a few black belts, and works as an instructor in her school, gym, dojo, whatever it's called. She usually tells people she's a martial arts instructor and not a model. For some reason she doesn't like to tell people she's a model, even though that's where she makes most of her money. She only makes $12 an hour and works part-time as a martial arts instructor. So the other day I was introducing her to some people and she told them she was a martial arts instructor when they asked her what she did. I said, "That's not really how she makes her money though, she's a model," and she shot me this dirty look. Later she said I was the idiot for saying that she doesn't like to tell people she's just met that she's a model and I had no right to correct her. That what she said is true, she does teach martial arts and she wasn't lying. That her passion is teaching martial arts, but it doesn't pay that well, so she models to pay the bills, but that's not what she's passionate about. I don't see what the big deal is. So am I the idiot here for telling people what she really does for money? Update. Just to clarify, she didn't tell me she preferred to not say she was a model specifically beforehand. I just noticed she never mentioned it, but it was not something we talked about until after I did it. Also, I was genuinely proud of her for being a model and when I introduced her to my friends. Update 2. I do respect her. I do love her for more than her beauty. She's a genuinely good and kind person, she loves kids, she teaches kids in her classes, animals, and just a very big-hearted and sweet woman. She's smart and fun and we share a lot of interests. Honestly, I am blown away by how pretty she is, and I've never dated a woman who is as pretty as she is. So that part does excite me. I genuinely thought the modeling was the more prestigious of her accomplishments because while you may think I am the idiot for this, I do value how much money a field brings in. When I chose my area in college, I did choose between a few specialties because this one paid the most. I am going to talk to her about it and find out more about why she values martial arts more, and I am not going to judge based on how much money it makes. I'm going to respect whatever reasons she has. I shot an apology text, "We're both at work right now," and sent her flowers to her dojo. She said we can talk after work, and I offered to take her to her favorite restaurant. You're the idiot. She gets to decide what to tell people about her profession. You do realize that you only come across as bragging? Yeah, I'm slamming the medal. Up high. This is most likely the reason she does not want you to introduce her like that, on top of people probably thinking she's stupid. You're the idiot. Your GF has a preference for how she is known, and you need to respect that. Your insistence on talking about her being a model smacks of you wanting to show her off. She is not a prize for you to present to people. You're the idiot. Introducing someone as a model implies that their attractiveness is potentially the most important thing about them. That might make them feel belittled or devalued in some way. If she wants to introduce herself as a martial arts instructor, which she is, then that is fine and you have no business interfering with that. It doesn't even matter that she's a model. She isn't lying and that's what she wants people to know her as, and that's her decision to make, not yours. Final update. I was really bothered by the things people said. Not because I wanted to bury my head and refuse to accept them, but because maybe there was some truth to it. I didn't want to be the guy everyone said I was. I really didn't. First, I want to make it clear that she never told me before not to refer to her as a model. Yes, I knew she usually didn't lead with it, but it was never something we had discussed before. We have been dating for around 3-4 months. Next, I want to say she was meeting some of my good friends. I was not trying to show her off in that she was a trophy for me. I was trying to point out her accomplishments. I thought it would make her look better for my friends to know she also made good money as a model. I can see where I was wrong. I did place more value on her career as a model because she made more money and I felt it was more glamorous. I am an idiot for that. I did interject that she was a model and undermine the image she wanted to project of herself, and I'm also the idiot for that too. I won't deny it. But I don't just see her as a trophy. I do see her as a complete and wonderful person, and there's more on that later because I learned something really important. I texted her with an apology and she said she was used to that crap. I asked her if we could talk about it and if I could try and make it up to her. She agreed. I told her I wanted to learn more about what she did as a martial arts teacher and asked her if I could sit in on some of her classes. She said she would like that. I made it a top priority. I left the office early to go and sit in and see what this was about. What I saw really opened my eyes, to be honest. I watched 2 classes and took part in the second one. The first one was her with kids after school class. She was kind, patient, and just really great with the kids. Someone said something to the effect that she couldn't be that successful if she only taught kids. That's dead wrong. It must be much harder to teach kids, and I think it makes her a much better teacher that she's able to reach and teach these kids. I saw how she will be a great mother, and before you rip me a new one, she does want to be a mom one day. The second class was a women's self-defense class. I took part in this one as the bad guy, and I was a practice dummy for her lessons on how to fend off assaults. I got manhandled by about 15 women. We had a few short sparring sessions in between her classes and she worked with me. For those of you who wanted her to beat me up, she got the chance to, although she didn't hurt me, she could have if she wanted to. I definitely saw the value beyond money in what she does. She taught 30 kids about discipline, confidence, courage, and standing up to bullies, and she taught 14 women how to defend themselves from an assault. Most importantly, I saw the qualities beyond her appearance that I love most about her really shine. I realized the things I love most about her: her courage, her compassion, her strength, her assertiveness, her kindness, patience, her wisdom, her discipline. This is where it comes from. This is really the part of her I love. It doesn't come from the modeling, it comes from this. I also saw how much she loved what she was doing. I saw in her a light that shone in a way that never does when she talks about modeling. I'm honestly a little emotional about how wrong I was. I told her this when I went out to dinner and we talked about what it means to her and why it's important. She also filled me in on the modeling thing. She doesn't like to lead with it for a number of reasons that most of you pointed out. First off, it's not as glamorous as I thought it was. She said many times she has to deal with negative stigmas as a result of saying she is a model. She works as a model because of a few accidents. She was born pretty and she ran into an agent as a teenager. That's all it took for her to be a model. It took her years of work and dedication to be where she is with martial arts. She started as a little girl and pushed through it all throughout both her childhood and her teenage years, which is pretty impressive when you consider how transient interests usually are for kids and teens. She feels a greater sense of accomplishment and fulfillment doing this than having her pictures taken. She said being called a model defines her by her appearance, defines her by what she is, and not who she is. She doesn't want to be defined by the way she looks, she wants to be defined by what she does. She doesn't feel that being a model is who she is, it's just something she does to make money, but it's not a core part of her identity. She doesn't feel the modeling industry encourages a healthy body image for other women and feels guilty that she is the image that many other women look to and are expected to look like. That she often has to deal with jealousy from other women, or she can make other women feel insecure about themselves, and she doesn't like that. She doesn't want other women to feel bad about themselves because of her. She feels while it's hypocritical of her to profit off of it, she feels it would be stupid to turn down the chance to make good money while she can. She wants to use this opportunity while she is still young enough to earn up the money to open her dojo or buy the ones she works at now and do that full-time when she ages out of modeling. This is where I lit up and felt I had something to really offer her. I work in finance. Go ahead, hate me, but I do like money. I like to have it, I like to make it, I like the freedom it affords, and I like to watch it flow and grow. So I offered to help her come up with a financial plan to reach her goal of opening up her own dojo. I thought it was a great opportunity for me to use what I know and love to help her do what she knows and loves. We both win. She agreed, and next week we are going to meet to go through her finances, and I will put together a plan to help her hit her goal. Finally, I asked her if it was okay to sign up for one of her classes, and she lit up and said she would love that. I know a lot of you are probably going to be disappointed she didn't dump me on the spot. I learned a lot today, a lot about her, and a lot about myself. In the end, this turned out to be something that helped me learn a lot more about who she is and why I love her. So honestly, thank you. Yeah, you were mean, yeah, you were vitriolic, yeah, it hurt, but I needed it to show me. Is she the better person? Yes, she is. Do I deserve her? No, I don't, but I am going to do better. I really do love this woman, I won't ever do this again.